It's time to take a break from the present and journey down TurboView's memory lane with a little R&R. Hey everybody, this is Chris Bucci and welcome back to another episode of Random Rerun, where we take a look back at a TurboGrafx game or two that we reviewed in the TurboView series, 1,000 years or so ago now it seems. Generally, they are my favorite games on the system, and I definitely want to give them a little extra love. Most of you out there know that I'm a huge pinball fanatic. I have been playing the silver ball since I was a young lad and got my first machine in 1993, stuffing it into the corner of my bedroom at age 16. And well, it's still a part of my hobby interest today. An old expression by famed pinball designer and founder of Williams Pinball, Harry Williams, is, quote, "The ball is wild." The fact that pinball is a physical game in a sense makes simulating its feeling in a digital environment quite tricky. If you were a TurboGrafx owner and a pinball fan, you were in luck, as the console had a few solid pinball entries that did quite well with this feel. I love the TG16 Crush series by Compile, and today we're going to look at Alien Crush, which was TurboView's episode number 20 from the first year of the series, and its sequel Devil's Crush, which we covered over a year later. When I got my TurboGrafx 16 in the summer of 1991, Keith Courage was obviously packed in, but I was also able to choose another game for free out of a handful of available titles. Well, I snagged Alien Crush off the peg as my second first title. Yeah, that makes sense. Man, that opening theme right there brings on the nostalgic chills. Anyway, Alien Crush was my favorite of the two by far, and really made it feel like I made the right choice on this system. What you see here is pretty much what you get. It's a pinball simulation with typical pinball goodies like bumpers, flippers, rollovers, targets, playfield inserts, etc. But where it shines is in its biological feel, and the stuff you cannot simulate on an actual table. Things twitch, explode, there's slime all around, and bobbing heads, etc. The controls are solid and simple, and the bonus levels are really fun. It has such a wonderful atmosphere in this almost alien cavern that you're stuck in. It's also very addicting, and the killer music makes it even better. The aliens were replaced with demons, skeletons, insects, sorcerers. Man, I love those title screens. In Devil's Crush. You know, I looked everywhere for this game as a kid, and I just could not find it on a store shelf. It wasn't for a few years that I finally saw it sitting casually by itself at a ma and pa video game store I visited, which was in this backyard barn. I was so happy to finally grab it, and man, I loved this one even more. Devil's Crush keeps the traditional pinball stuff we mentioned before intact, but it just kind of raises the bar some with 3 playfields instead of 2, and a smooth scroll between them versus Alien Crush's screen snap. Devil's Crush also has more items that explode and crawl around, plus more bonus stages. It also incorporates a password system to save your game. Trust me, an average game for me takes a handful of hours, so it's definitely welcome. Look, I'll never be able to beat this one by scoring a billion, but it's so much fun trying. Man, I love the look and detail in this game, and that main theme is so good. Okay, there's no question I'm a huge fan of the music in these games. Check this out. In the summer of 2020, a vinyl was released by Enjoy the Ride Records. It includes remastered versions of music from both Crush games, as well as a little Star Soldier love. There were multiple versions, but I opted for the retail silver edition. I thought that one looked really cool. I can't believe in 2020 there is vinyl, let alone something that has to do with the TurboGrafx. Devil's Crush was ported to the Mega Drive/Genesis, and there were some sequel games as well. But for me, the original TG16 versions are the real deal. In fact, Devil's Crush got the rare, coveted TurboViews 5 out of 5 rating. It also got the silly "screw you" skull joke, but that one always made me laugh. I don't know. Anyway, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this little personal history and commentary on Alien Crush and Devil's Crush. Coming up next, we're going to roll both original TurboViews episodes in their entirety, in case you'd like to learn more about these games. Okay, everyone, this is Chris Bucci, and I'll see you next time on another episode of Random Rerun. Take care. Unfortunately, pinball simulations never do justice to the real thing. It doesn't matter how many different variations they come up with, converting a physical pinball machine and recreating that mechanical, the ball is always wild feel just ain't happening. Although I must admit, some simulations I really do enjoy, and none did it better than the Crush series. Alien Crush was the first, and gained such a cult following that a sequel for the TurboGrafx was created, as well as a couple of games appearing on other consoles. Alien Crush took pinball on a gaming system to a new level, and obviously borrowed heavily from the Alien movies. In fact, you are literally batting the ball around what seems to be the insides of some kind of alien cavern. It has a definite strange biological feel. The targets move, items twitch during gameplay, and often bumpers explode, revealing something surprising you didn't expect at first. There are 2 screens, or playfields, available, and each is pretty unique. The top one has slime, rollover switches, a bonus counter disguised as a weird brain skull thing, and 3 locks called dead bones. It even has bumpers in the center that can be rearranged by hitting the eyeball flipper. That's pretty sweet. The bottom screen includes bobbing alien heads, scorpion kickers, and strange deflector eyes. This screen also showcases the very familiar looking alien that acts as the lower playfield bonus counter and awards other miscellaneous points. I must draw attention to the manual that gives a detailed map of the playfields, although they labeled some of the items wrong. Did this person even play the game? The control and gameplay is simple. Button 1 operates the right flipper, the directional pad operates the left flipper, and button 2 nudges the table, just like the real thing. Other than pausing the game, which will come in handy since high scores can only be racked up after hours of play, there isn't much more you really need to know. At the start, you choose the ball speed. Slow is a bit too slow, especially once you get used to the fast, but it's good for beginners. You can also select the music track, deciding between Lunar Eclipse and Demon's Undulate. The latter is a bit low-key, but I personally love Lunar Eclipse. Since you'll be listening to this for most of the entire game, choose wisely. Like most pinball machines, after plunging the ball, you'll start at the top area, heading to some simple rollover lanes. If you drain the top playfield, you'll then move to the bottom playfield. The screen actually snaps to the next one, instead of a nice smooth scroll, which can cause a slight dizzying effect. But a ball never seems to be lost as a result. After a time, you'll notice that some traditional pinball tricks can be utilized, such as bouncing the ball to the other flipper, backhanding a shot, or even using the nudge to keep the ball from draining. The tilt is not very sensitive, so you have plenty of tries to bump the playfield before upsetting the aliens within. Ball physics have always been a problem in pinball simulation games, but Alien Crush has come close to spot-on realism, which is a huge plus. There were only a couple of times where the shot seemed a bit off with how it would be normally in the real world. This makes ball control Extremely easy. Along with the two main screens, you also play on bonus tables. Each one has unique moving enemies to destroy. Knocking around aliens and skulls, blasting through a barrage of bumpers, or the bonus round that seems to appear most often and becomes the most tedious, chopping down caterpillar-like aliens. Slimer from Ghostbusters also makes an appearance. Isn't that nice? Bashing, or crushing I should say, everything in these rounds awards a bunch of points and a perfect bonus. If you drain before completing, you still get points, and the ball is nicely returned to the top playfield. Learning the rules of what lights what is also important. You'll start to form strategies for maximizing your score, and also earning extra balls in order to keep your game alive. Matching the numbers at the game's end also awards a last chance extra ball, if you're lucky. Now look, right from the title screen, you can tell something unique is happening here. It's truly freaky and cool. The game just looks great with slick animations and an extremely weird atmosphere. The colors are beautiful, and I love how they etched into the playfield surface inserts that are currently not lit up, such as the bonus multipliers. Just like the real thing, and yet not at all. The music and sounds are great too. Traditional and non-traditional pinball effects are included, along with weird alien-like fodder. Alien Crush is extremely addictive, and I can't get enough of it once I start to play. In fact, I must not be the only one who thinks this way. I've heard of some people scoring 1 billion. Yeah! More than likely, I'll never have to use that 9th digit. I'll just stick with excelling at regular pinball. Yeah, it's second place, but, well, the other guy cheated. My only complaints with Alien Crush are minor. I wish a save feature was included, as game times tend to be very long. The two screens can get a bit monotonous, and the game could have used a few more bonus rounds. But these aside, it was the best pinball simulation at the time, and it was one of the reasons that the TurboGrafx made a huge first impression on me. It's very underappreciated, and if you're into pinball simulations at all, or even pinball in general, you'll definitely love what Alien Crush has to offer. It still holds that addiction factor even today. 4 turbo chips out of 5. A real, physical pinball machine is hard to replicate in the video environment. Well, those of us who owned a TurboGrafx were treated to Alien Crush. To me, one of the most unique and best playing video pinballs at the time. A year later, the aliens were replaced with demons and sorcerers as Naxxit Soft delivered another hit with Devil's Crush. A turbo chip with a ton of gameplay, a great design, and even more ways to get the high score. Right from its creepy and just plain awesome title screen, Devil's Crush rules the world within its weird world. When you begin, you are instantly presented with a unique crank shooter in the manual called the Spring of Justice. Once the ball is plunged, you will be taken into the depths of this living pinball machine, complete with skeletons, insects, dragons, sorcerers, and other ghastly demons. Not to mention your traditional pinball items like flippers, slingshots, bumpers, in-lanes and out-lanes, and eject holes. Unlike Alien Crush's 2-level playfield, Devil's Crush gives us 3, with a nice smooth scroll between each. But honestly, I don't seem to stay at the top for very long. And Lord knows I try. Oh, come on. Come on, get up there. Oh, come on! Devil's Crush is all about revealing things and witnessing ghastly transformations. Slingshots explode, spitting out strange little guys. Soldiers crisscross in front of your eyes. Sorcerers change colors as they spin. You'll also notice a skull that follows the ball, and eventually laughs at you when the ball goes down the drain. Hey, screw you, skull. Okay, screw you, skull! I think I'm gonna cry. The manual does a good job laying out the various areas and discussing ways to achieve scores, but it doesn't really dive into the deep strategy of the game, which is here in abundance. For example, the giant face seems to be just a bumper dead center in the second playfield, but after you wake her up, you can slowly reveal her demonic state by hitting the portals on either side. After the final demon mode is achieved, one of the 6 bonus levels is revealed. Speaking of bonus levels, entering the dragon gets you 1, entering the castle when it's orange gets you 1, smashing the small skulls gets you 1. And of course, there are others. Also, if you complete a bonus stage, your ball will turn blue, which will quadruple every point you achieve. Man, I have never been this excited to achieve blue balls. Yeah. Obviously, being in the lower level is dangerous, so opening up the secret entrances or barriers creates a safe mode. Learning how to achieve extra balls to keep your game going is also very important. The game even has a nice secret skill shot off the plunger, awarding a sweet 2 million. The demonic graphics and lively visuals in Devil's Crush are just stunning at times. The colors are amazingly vibrant, the attention to detail is fantastic, and the animation is top-notch. It's a great mixture of pinball fantasy and pinball realism. I mean, check out the bonus counters printed right on the playfield. It really doesn't get much better for this type of game. The sound is also great, with fun pinball-like effects, grunts, groans, and splats. Unlike Alien Crush, which had 2 main tracks to choose from at the beginning, Devil's Crush has only 1. But it is such a wonderful selection of music, and it creates such a perfect mood, you won't really be clamoring to change it. The control isn't bad at all and very simple. Button 1 controls the right flipper and shooter, Button 2 controls the nudge, preventing the ball from draining, and the control pad works the left flipper. The gravity and weight of the ball seems a bit odd at times, and the shots do have a tendency to veer in the wrong direction. I hit the ball off the end of my flipper and it went up the middle? What? But once you get used to these few quirks, the game has good flow and control. At the title screen, you can select a 2-player alternating mode and the ball speed at slow or fast. Just like its predecessor, scoring 1 billion will defeat the game. This time, however, a password save feature is implemented, saving your current progress and making this goal a bit easier to achieve. But honestly, my best game ever was about 7 hours total and only 250 million, a fourth of the way. I doubt I will ever beat this game legitimately, but it is sure fun to try. For their time, both Crush games really added some ingenuity and strategy with a mixture of realism and fantasy. To me, Devil's Crush not only packed the fun of the original, but surpassed it, fixing some issues I had with Alien Crush and adding a ton of great stuff. I love this game, and I truly recommend it for anybody into pinballs, video pinballs, or blue balls. Wait, what? When I first got this game, I thought it was the best pinball simulation on the planet. It has bonus stage galore, 3 main playfields that nicely scroll, and a ton of items to complete for hours of fun. The good news is that it still holds up today and is still immensely addicting. Definitely one of the great ones from the TurboGrafx library, and this recommendation is coming from a pinball fan, a pinball collector, and a true pinhead.